I was never a Hulkamaniac. I liked him when he was in the NWO. That's when I thought he was super cool. Like, I'm like, okay, now he's a heel, and the black and white gimmick. That's when I really liked Hogan. I did not like the red and yellow phase. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
But if he's such a liar, he sure would have lied about being in ECW and being
doesn't even know about
at the bingo hall. Look, he's holding the ECW title. Look, he's at the corner of Swanson and Rittner. Come on.
Maybe he did. And we just haven't heard that story yet. Maybe he's going to come and say that him and Paul were the ones who booked the first Barely Legal. Maybe he'll say something like that. I don't know. I mean, look, he might praise us. He might hate us. You never know. Most of the old timer guys, they think ECW was a joke. They think it was just nonsense, not real wrestling, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm right. That's the consensus.
I do. But here's where I think the discussion of Hulk Hogan needs to begin. Okay. Is the old timers. They tend to tell tall tales. Okay. But I think a lot of these discussions that these guys had in cars, that maybe stayed in cars back in the 70s, back in the 80s, that now are being told out to the media, out to fans that have podcasts and out to interviewers, they don't really resonate because they're being fed to the masses. And we could just fact check that. Hulk Hogan is arguably, and this is the mark in me, I guess, saying this, the biggest star in the history of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So what he says is going to carry a lot of weight, and people are going to say, no, that's bullshit. That's whatever. But in his mind, that's what happened. But he's been doing this for 40 years. So whether he believes it now that that's what happened, or he's just, look, what if he has dementia? What if he's dementia,
So he has dementia now. You said he's been doing it for 40 years. So when he was 30 years old, did he have dementia, or was he just a compulsive liar?
That's where I started to get off the rant. But okay, so let me go back to my point. So you're
getting caught in your own lies right now.
The old timers that tend to exaggerate about things and tend to say stuff that, look, a guy that I know that has been around for a long time, sometimes he says stuff that I'm like, that doesn't sound like it's right. But, he's saying it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But my markdom, my time as a fan, no, maybe I think he's incorrect. But I'm not going to say anything right now. It happens. Listen, but I think he's just Hulk Hogan, and he's under a bigger microscope than everybody else.
Is this like the little white lie you tell your children? You think you have it rough. I used to walk 40 miles in the snow with no boots on and just, socks and slippers and, those little white lies that motivate somebody. Or do you really think that he believes all these things happened? Does he think that Metallica really wanted him as a frontman for a singer? Like, some of these things are so elaborate and so not believable that you have to look at this guy and say, what planet does he live on? Like, that is 100% fabricated. Yeah. And it makes him look like a tool.
Yeah. I think he takes stories that he's heard and they like mold in his brain with other things that happened in the business, in his career. And that like metastasizes into the actual story then that he tells.
You don't think it makes his credibility go way down? I do. I do.
Mean, maybe.
How many times can you say something that's not true? Like if I was an interviewer and I got the chance to interview Hogan and I knew it was going to be a bunch of lies, I would just sit there and laugh my ass off at him. Because you're not going to get any good content. It's going to be a bunch of bullshit, right? Why would anyone even want to talk to him about certain things if he's just going to lie all the time? Because now he's a running joke. Like, people make fun of him constantly. Nothing to do with his work ethic. Because we know he was a powerhouse in the ring. Like you said, one of the greatest of all time, possibly. But when you open your mouth and all these lies come out and these stories that are ridiculous. If you went to school with a kid like this, you would be like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
But because he's, no, 100% you would. 100%. But because he's Hulk Hogan, are you giving him a pass? Is it okay because he's done so much for the business and he's, larger than life? Or can you call him on his bullshit? I would love for somebody to just be like, bro, that wasn't true. Everybody that interviews him and he seems to like tell these stories, they're just like, really? Oh, that's great. And nobody calls him on anything because they're scared to. Hey there, it is the Queen of Extreme, Francine from ECW. Do you want to see more of me? Click over here to watch another video, or click over here to listen to my podcast. And as always, thank you for your support.